On Wednesday, August 21st, the Adair County R2 school buses began to roll in, bringing students for the first day of school. The day began with an assembly where our principal, Mr. Doolin, welcomed the students and went over changes in the student handbooks. Also, new employees were introduced. They include Corbin Coe, Coach, Danny Becker, Art, Jesse Odell, Spanish and English, Karen Leffler, Para. Also during the assembly, Mike Killen was recognized for being named Missouri Industrial Arts Educator of the Year.
You may notice some new things this year. The blue storage house on the corner has been taken down to make an extended parking lot. On Tuesday, August 27th, the school sponsored a blood drive in the Keller building in downtown Brashear. 16 units were collected altogether. We would like to thank those who donated. On August 12th, baseball and softball teams started practicing. This Friday, we wish them luck on their first game at Linn County at 5 o'clock.
On Friday morning, a special breakfast was held to honor our Renaissance students. After the students checked in at their first hour classes, they were released to go to the Keller building in downtown Brashear, where the biscuits and gravy breakfast was being served. Students earned their place in Renaissance with a combination of good attendance, good citizenship, and good grades. The Brashear baseball and softball teams kicked off their season on the road at Linn County last Friday night. The softball team wasted no time getting on the scoreboard as Meredith Thomas, Ashley Moncrief, and Mandy Taylor had back-to-back-to-back hits to give Brashear a 2-0 lead in their half of the first inning. Linn County answered with a pair of runs in the bottom of the first to tie the game at 2-2. Brashear scored 4 runs in the top of the second to retake the lead and had a 5-run fifth inning as they pulled away to a 17-6 win. Meredith Thomas went 4 for 4 and Ashley Moncrief was 4 for 5 to lead the Brashear offensive charge. Mandy Taylor, Allie Garrett, Sydney Sykes, Nikki Woods, and Abby Kirby also had hits for Brashear. Alexa Acton picked up the win for Brashear, striking out 5.
In the baseball game, it was Linn County who struck first with 3 runs at the bottom of the first. Brashear got on the board with a pair of runs in the top of the third. With 2 outs, Colt Acton singled, Gabe Thomas doubled, then Luke Morrow doubled to drive in 2 runs. Brashear added another run in the 5th, but Linn County continued to score and pulled away from Brashear with a 13-3 win. Colt Acton had 2 hits for Brashear with Chance Hill, Gabe Thomas, Luke Morrow, Lucas Goodrich, and Sam Smith also having hits. Gabe Thomas got the start for Brashear with Chance Hill pitching in relief. Brashear played host to Knox County Tuesday night for the varsity JV doubleheader. Knox County got on the scoreboard in the top of the first and then scored twice more in the top of the second to take a 3-0 lead. The big breakthrough for Knox County came in the 5th as they added another 4 runs. Meanwhile, Brashear went 1-2-3 in the first before Alexa Acton led off in the bottom of the second with a walk. She ended up stranded on base, as was Ashley Moncrief, who reached on an error in the 4th. Meredith Thomas drew in a walk at the 6th, and Sydney Sykes walked in the 5th and 7th. For Brashear could score and Knox County took home a 0-0 win. Alexa Acton pitched for Brashear. Knox County also won the JV game 6-5.
On Thursday, Brashear Elementary classes had special visitors. Students from A.T. Still University arrived in the afternoon with experiments and demonstrations to show. Some of the demonstrations included the difference in density between oil and water, as well as other demonstrations showing how detergent works. This is the second visit of the year. On their previous visit, the A.T. Still students demonstrated rockets. Brashear hosted the La Plata Bulldogs varsity and JV baseball teams Friday night. La Plata came out swinging the hot bats in the top of the first inning, scoring 9 times. They would add another run in the second, 1 in the fourth, and 5 in the fifth on their way to a 16-3 win. Brashear's first run came in the bottom of the fourth as Tristan Smith drew a walk and Lucas Gergerich Chance Hill doubled. Both eventually scored. Chance Hill had a double for Brashear with Jacob Blything, Tristan Smith, and Lucas Gergerich also having hits.
The Brashear Lady Tigers softball team kicked off Saturday's Knox County softball tournament with a rematch with the host Lady Eagles. Brashear had come out on the short end of the 8-0 game with Knox County on Tuesday. Saturday's game was much more competitive as Brashear only trailed 2-1 in the top of the fourth. Brashear's run in the fourth came as Ashley Moncrief singled and Sydney Sykes singled the driver in. Alexa Acton took the loss for Brashear.
Brashear faced Marion County for the second game of the day. Although Marion County scored twice in the first inning, Brashear only allowed them one more run in the fifth. Brashear scored single runs in each of the first 3 innings, then 2 in the fourth and 2 in the sixth to win 7-3. Meredith Thomas tripled and doubled for Brashear. Alexa Acton tripled. Abigail Kirby doubled and singled, with Ashley Moncrief, Mandy Taylor, and Allie Garrett also having hits. Brashear and Crooksville JV met in the consolation game. Brashear jumped out to a quick 3-0 lead in the first on their way to a 7-0 win. For Brashear, Meredith Thomas had a double and a single, Mandy Taylor doubled, Sydney Sykes and Ashley Fortney each had a pair of singles, with Alexa Acton, Allie Garrett, and Skylar Hausman also having hit.
The Novinger Lady Cats visited Brashear Tuesday for softball. Brashear got on the scoreboard with a pair of runs in the first and another in the second. No more scoring occurred until the fifth when Novinger got on the scoreboard with a pair of runs. Brashear answered with 2 runs of their own in the bottom of the inning. Novinger added 1 more run in the sixth, but Brashear slammed the door with a 1-2-3 seventh to hang on for the 5-3 win. Sydney Sykes, Allie Garrett, Alexa Acton, Nikki Woods, and Skylar Hausman had hits for Brashear. Alexa Acton got the win for Brashear, striking out 6.
The Brashear baseball team was forced to forfeit due to only having 8 players available. The 2 teams played a scrimmage. Novinger scored the first run of the game in the top of the second and added 3 more in the third. Brashear scored twice in the bottom of the third, and the score was still 4-2 after 4 innings. Novinger pushed across another run in the fifth on a Brownell homer, making the score 5-2 after 5 innings. Novinger put the game away in the sixth, scoring 9 runs to make the final score 14-2. Chance Hill, Jacob Blything, Sam Smith, and Tyler Watson had hits for Brashear. Luke Morrow got the start for Brashear, striking out 7 in 4 innings of work. Chance Hill pitched in relief. On Monday, Detective Steve Feeney from the Kirksville Police Department was a guest speaker at Brashear High School. Detective Feeney is with the Computer Crime Investigation Unit. He gave useful tips, advice, and warnings to keep safe on the internet and to protect your identity and reputation. Grades 5 through 12 got to hear the presentation at various times throughout the day.
On Tuesday, annual fall pictures were taken by Interstate Studios. Individual portraits were taken, group pictures were also taken. Brashear hosted the La Plata Bulldogs and Lady Bulldogs Friday night for a Tri-County Conference softball to baseball doubleheader. Brashear started the night scoring in the softball game as Meredith Thomas led off with a single and scored. La Plata went down in order to make the score 1-0 after one inning of play. The game remained tied until Brashear scored 7 times in the bottom of the 4th. The Lady Tigers would add another run in the 5th and another in the 6th to make the final score 11-1. Meredith Thomas and Skylar Hausman had 2 hits for Brashear. Asha Moncrief doubled, and Mandy Taylor and Kylie Williams also had hits. Alexa Acton pitched for Brashear. After Brashear picked up the win in the softball game, things were much different in the baseball game. La Plata scored 6 first-inning runs, but Brashear answered with 3 of their own in the bottom of the 1st. Chance Hill, Cole Acton, and Gabe Thomas all reached base safely, with Thomas driving at Hill and Luke Morrow driving the other 2. That was all of the scoring for Brashear, while La Plata continued to add runs, eventually winning 16-3. Chance Hill, Cole Acton, Gabe Thomas, and Luke Morrow had hits for Brashear. Luke Morrow and Chance Hill pitched for Brashear. The Scotland County Lady Tigers softball team was in Brashear Wednesday night for a non-conference varsity JV doubleheader. Scotland County managed to string together back-to-back hits in the top of the 1st to take 1-0 to lead in what would turn into a pretty good defensive struggle. After taking the lead, Scotland County retired Brashear in order in the bottom of the 1st. Neither team scored again until Scotland County pushed across a run in the 4th and another in the 5th. Brashear got on the board in the bottom of the 5th as Alexa Acton doubled and scored on a Nikki Woods hit. Scotland County scored twice more in the 7th to make the final score 5-1. Alexa Acton, Nikki Woods, and Skylar Hausman had hits for Brashear. Alexa Acton pitched for Brashear. Scotland County won the JV.
Last Tuesday, 7 senior members of the softball team were honored. Ashley Moncrief, Meredith Thomas, Nikki Woods, Alexa Acton, Angela McKim, Ashley Fortney, and Nicole Wagster were introduced and presented with gifts from the team.
Brashear traveled to Revere Friday night for a pair of conference games. Both the Brashear and Revere softball teams came into the night with the perfect conference records, making the game likely to determine the conference winner in the Tri-County Conference. Brashear's Meredith Thomas tripled to start the game for Brashear but was unable to score. Revere took advantage of a walk and an error to score 3 times in their half of the 1st. This would prove to be all they would need in what was otherwise a very low-scoring game. Neither team would score again until Revere put across a single run in the 5th. Brashear got on the board when Alexa Acton singled and scored in the 7th, but it was a little too late as Revere won by the final score 4-1. Meredith Thomas, Alexa Acton, Sydney Sykes, and Abigail Kirby had hits for Brashear. Alexa Acton pitched for Brashear. In the baseball game, it was Brashear who struck first as Chance Hill singled to lead off. Gabe Thomas drew a walk, then Luke Morrow belted a 3rd-run homer over the center field fence to put Brashear up 3-0. Revere answered with a pair of runs in the bottom of the 1st and 3 more in the 2nd to take the lead to 5-3. Brashear battled back with a run in the 3rd and another in the 4th to tie the game at 5-5, but Revere added 2 in the 4th and 2 in the 5th to win the final margin of 9-5. Luke Morrow had a home run for Brashear with Chance Hill, Gabe Thomas, Jacob Blythe, and Sam Smith also having hits. Luke Morrow and Colt Acton pitched for Bashir. The Lady Tigers softball team traveled to Lancaster Saturday for the Schuyler County tournament. They only managed to play one inning of their game against Milan before the rains came, canceling the tournament. Bashir led 1-0 when the rain stopped the game. The Bashir Tiger baseball and softball teams visited the Atlanta Hornets Monday night for a pair of Tri-County Conference games. Bashir started off things with the pair run in the top of the first in the softball game, but Atlanta quickly covered with 5 runs in the bottom of the first. Bashir put up 5 more runs in the top of the second to retake the lead, and then added 3 in the third, 3 in the fifth, and 1 in the seventh to win 14-8. Meredith Thomas, Ashley Moncrief, Alexa Acton, Ellie Garrett, Angela McKim, Abby Kirby, and Skylar Hausman had hits for Bashir. Alexa Acton pitched for Bashir. The Atlanta baseball team got off to a quick start, posting 5 runs in the first and 5 runs in the second on their way to make a 14-1 victory. Bashir's lone run came in the second as Luke Morrow walked, stole second, and then scored on a pickoff attempt to send the ball into center field. Chance Hill, Gabe Thomas, and Jacob Blything pitched for Bashir. The Bashir Lady Tigers visited the Marion County Lady Mustangs Tuesday for a softball game. Bashir's Ashley Moncrief and Mandy Taylor were on base in the top of the first when Alexa Acton drove the ball deep over the right fielder's head for a home run and 3-0 lead. The second inning produced no additional scoring, but Bashir exploded for 7 runs in the third to take the lead for good on their way to a 16-6 win. Alexa Acton homered for Bashir with Meredith Thomas, Mandy Taylor, Sydney Sykes, and Nikki Woods, and Skylar Hausman also having hits. Alexa Acton picked up the win for Bashir.
Last Saturday, the Bashir Tiger Marching Band traveled to Fayette, Missouri for the Central Methodist College Band Day competition. The band competed with approximately 40 other bands of various sizes. The Tigers won 3rd place in the Class 1 band division, and the Flag Squad also took 3rd place in the Class 1 division. The Bashir High School PE department has been doing some new things lately. Coach Coe's first hour class has been using dance as a form of exercise to supplement other physical activities.
The Bashir Tiger baseball and softball teams visited Green City Thursday night for their final conference games of the year. The Lady Tigers rode a dominant pitching performance by Alexa Acton to a 5-0 win to clinch 2nd place in the Tri-County Conference. Acton struck out 12 on the night. Bashir got on the scoreboard with a single runs in the 3rd and 5th innings and pushed across 3 runs in the 6th. Alexa Acton had 3 hits for Bashir, Skylar Hausman had 2, and Sydney Sykes had 1. In the baseball game, Green City got all the offense they would need as they pushed across a pair of runs in the bottom of the first. They added 4 more in the second and 5 in the third on their way to a 14-1 win. Bashir's run came in the 3rd as Gabe Thomas drove in Chance Hill. Gabe Thomas and Jacob Blything had hits for Bashir, Luke Morrow and Jacob Blything. The Bashir Lady Tigers softball team finished their regular season on the road at Unionville Monday. Bashir took the early lead with 3 runs in the top of the first and another in the 3rd. Putnam County was held scoreless until the bottom of the 3rd when they scored 4 times to tie the game. Bashir retook the lead with a run in the top of the 4th, but Putnam County scored 4 times in the 5th and once in the 6th to claim 9-5 win. Meredith Thomas and Mandy Taylor had 2 hits for Bashir, with Ashley Moncrief and Nikki Woods also having hits. Alexa Acton pitched for Bashir.
Last Monday, members of the Brashear High School FBLA chapter went on a college visit trip to North Central Missouri College in Trenton. While there, our students got to tour the campus as well as meet with school officials and students who presented information about their school and the college selection process.
The Brashear Lady Tigers and the Marion County Lady Mustangs met Wednesday at Scotland County in the first round of Class 1 District 9 play. Marion County jumped out to a quick 3-0 lead in the first while holding Brashear scoreless. The second inning was a different story as Brashear sent 10 batters to the plate, scoring 6 runs. Marion County closed the gap to 6-5 in the third, but Brashear scored 3 in the third, 3 in the fourth, and 3 in the fifth to end the game early with the 15-5 win. Alexa Acton tripled for Brashear, Abby Kirby, Sydney Sykes, Allie Garrett, and Ashley Fortney doubled, with Angela McKim, Nikki Woods, and Skylar Hausman also having hits. Sykes was 4-4 on the night. Alexa Acton got the win for Brashear. Brashear and Knox County met for the third time this season in Class 1 District 9 semifinals at Scotland County Thursday night. Knox County had won the earlier 2 games. The game looked to be a good pitcher's battle as Knox County's Lauren Dale and Brashear's Alexa Acton each retired the batters in order in the first inning. Brashear went down 1-2-3 in the second, but Knox County got 2 out hit, followed by an error that cost Brashear a chance to keep the game scoreless, with Knox County scoring twice. Knox County struck for another pair of runs in the third to make the score 4-0. The Lady Eagles would add 3 more runs in the fifth to make the final tally 7-0. Alexa Acton broke up a no-hitter with a line drive up the middle for Brashear's only hit.
The Brashear Marching Band traveled to Kirksville Saturday to march in the Truman State University Homecoming Parade. The band had already marched at the Central Methodist Band Day and the Hannibal Band Day earlier this fall. This Monday was concert tour day for the Tri-County Conference Choir. The choir students rehearsed over the weekend before putting on concerts at La Plata, Atlanta, and Bevier. Choir members from Brashear were Willow Frazier, Allie Garrett, Kirsten Hart, Abby Kirby, Celia Kincaid, and Megan McHenry. Students at Brashear have been observing Red Ribbon Week this week. They've been taking part in a variety of dress-up days and activities to promote drug and alcohol awareness. The elementary students even got to watch a magic show that featured a theme of stay away from drugs.
Brashear Junior High Tigers and Lady Tigers kicked off the basketball game at Green City Tournament Thursday night. The Lady Tigers fell behind Green City 10-6 after 1 quarter of play and trailed 19-10 at the half. The Lady Gophers put the game away in the third quarter, holding Brashear scoreless while scoring 14 points to extend their lead to 33-10. Brashear bounced back to the outscore Green City 11-6 in the final quarter, but Green City won by a score of 39-21. For Brashear, Robin Wagster had 9 points, Haley Lawrence and Kaylee Hall had 4 each, and Hannah Reeves and Sadie Potter scored 2 points each. The Brashear boys also faced Green City in the first round game. Green City put up 12 first quarter points and 14 second quarter points to take a 35-0 lead at the halfway mark. Brashear never could get anything going offensively, and Green City pulled away for a 50-0 win. Both Brashear Junior High basketball teams faced Novinger Friday night in the third place games at Green City Tournament. The Lady Tigers took the early lead 9-4 after 1 quarter and led Novinger 18-7 at halftime. Brashear continued to outscore Numinger in the second half and took third place with a 29-15 win. Caitlin Hall scored 9 points for Brashear, Robin Wagster added 8, Haley Lawrence had 6, and Harley Mahalovich, Casey Mahalovich, and Sadie Potter scored 2 points each. The Numinger boys put big numbers on the scoreboard early on, scoring 23 in the first quarter and 15 in the second quarter to take 38-6 halftime lead. Brashear had their best quarter in the third, scoring 8 points, but Numinger coasted to a 54-16 win for third place. Ty Gottman and Wyatt Potter scored 4 points each for Brashear, and Nate Stewart, Aiden Zentz, Colton Sayer, and Tristan Morrison scored 2 points each. Brashear Junior High basketball team started regular season play in Atlanta Monday night. Atlanta jumped out in a 13-4 lead after one quarter and led 21-10 at halftime. Atlanta continued to outscore Brashear in the second half and won the game to 35-17. Caitlin Hall scored 7 points for Brashear, Michaela Potter added 4, Haley Lawrence had 3, and Casey Mahalovich scored 2 points. The Atlanta boys got their running game started early and led 26-4 in the half. Brashear continued to struggle in the second half as Atlanta pulled away for a 39-6 win. Wyatt Potter scored 4 points for Brashear with Aiden Zentz having 2. Last week, BHS sponsored the second blood drive of the season downtown in the Keller Community Building. 14 units were collected. We would like to thank everyone for turning out. Last Wednesday, our elementary students got a real treat with a visit from the Jump with Jill Rock and Roll Nutrition Show. Jump with Jill is a multimedia health program that makes nutrition rock. Through songs, dances, and audience participation, the students learn the importance of diet, exercise, and nutrition in maintaining a healthy body. Northeast Regional Medical Center, Nemo Heart Health, and other organizations help sponsor Jump with Jill to visit our local school. The Brashear Junior High basketball teams were in the Play-Doh Monday. The lead in the girls' game went back and forth in the first half, with Brashear being on top 9-7 after 2 quarters of play. Brashear came out strong after the half and outscored La Plata 13-1 in the third quarter to pick up a 32-15 win. Robin Wagster and Caitlin Hall scored 8 points each for Brashear. Harley Mahalovich, Casey Mahalovich, and Sadie Potter had 4 each, and Haley Lawrence and Michaela Potter scored 2 points each. The La Plata boys came out firing on all cylinders and ran up a 29-7 lead by halftime. Brashear had their best quarters in the second half with 8 in the third and 8 in the fourth, but it wasn't enough as La Plata cruised to a 47-23 win. Levi Blankenship and Ty Gottman scored 8 points each for Brashear. Wyatt Potter, Tristan Morrison, and Aiden Zentz had 2 each, and Zane Sykes scored 1 point. The Brashear Junior High basketball teams were on the road Tuesday at Brashear. The Brashear girls jumped out to a 14-2 lead after one quarter and never looked back as they picked up the road win by a score of 40-27. Caitlin Hall scored 14 points for Brashear. Robin Wagster had 12. Hannah Reeves added 5, Sadie Potter had 3, and Harley Mahalovich, Casey Mahalovich, and Haley Lawrence scored 2 points each. It was Bevere who had the hot hand early in the boys' game, running up a 32-1 lead at halftime on their way to a 47-9 win. Ty Gottman scored 3 points for Brashear, with Wyatt Potter, Colton Sayer, and Zane Sykes scoring 2 points each.
Congratulations to Abby Kirby on being selected to the Nemo District Choir. The group auditioned in Warrenton last month, and those selected then performed a concert last Saturday night in Moberly.
The Buckland-Macon County Co-op Junior High basketball teams visited Brashear Friday night. The girls' game was very closely contested, with the score being tied 4-4 after one quarter. By halftime, BMC held a slim 12-11 lead over Brashear. Brashear came out and scored BMC 10-8 in the third quarter to take 21-20 lead, and held on through the fourth to win by a score of 29-26. Caitlin Hall scored 15 points for Brashear, with Robin Waxter and Haley Lawrence having 4 each. Hannah Reeves had 3, Casey Mahalovich had 2, and Sadie Potter scored 1 point. The BMC boys jumped out to a 24-0 lead after one quarter, but Brashear got on the scoreboard for 5 points in the second to trail 38-5. Brashear's offense never got on track in the second half, and they fell by a final score of 57-8. Colton Sayer scored 4 points for Brashear, with Tristan Morrison and Aiden Zentz scoring 2 points each. Meadville visited Brashear Monday for a pair of junior high basketball games. The Meadville girls took an early 6-4 lead after one quarter and were up 15-10 at the half. Brashear began to rally in the fourth quarter, eventually putting within 1 point, but Meadville held on for a 32-26 win. Kaylee Hall scored 9 points for Brashear. Robin Waxter and Haley Lawrence had 4 each. Harley Mahalovich had 3, and Casey Mahalovich, Michaela Potter, and Sadie Potter scored 2 points each. The Meadville boys took an 18-7 lead after one quarter and were up 26-11 at halftime. Meadville outscored Brashear 8-5 in the third, but Brashear managed to match Meadville 6-6 in the final quarter, giving Meadville a 40-22 win. Tristan Morrison scored 8 points for Brashear, Colton Sayer added 6, and Levi Blankenship, Wyatt Potter, Ty Gottman, and Aiden Zentz scored 2 points each. The Brashear Tigers were on the road Tuesday for a trip to Novinger. The first quarter of the girls' game was a defensive battle, with Brashear holding 5-4 lead with under a minute to go. Novinger scored a last-second shot to take a 6-5 lead, which was the beginning of a 25-0 run that put Novinger ahead 29-12 at halftime. Brashear started with fourth quarter down 43-12, but their 15-point fourth quarter left them short as Novinger won 47-27. Robin Waxter scored 10 points for Brashear, Caitlin Hall added 9, Harley Mahalovich had 4, and Haley Lawrence and Michaela Potter scored 2 points each. The Novinger boys scored 15 in the first quarter and 11 in the second to take a 26-6 lead into the half. Brashear was shut out in the third quarter and scored 6 in the last quarter to fall to Novinger's 45-12. Tristan Morrison scored 5 points for Brashear, Colton Sayer had 4, Aiden Zentz had 2, and Zane Sykes scored 1 point. On Monday, an all-school assembly was held in observance of Veterans Day. Student Council President Gabe Thomas led the audience in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the playing of the national anthem by the band. Principal Doolin read the list of area veterans, and several students gave tributes.
This week, crews are here installing new playground equipment for our playground. This project is a result of lots of hard work and fundraising to bring a better playground to our kids.
On Wednesday, 9th through 12th graders were shown a presentation on distracted driving by Sergeant Brent Bernhardt. The presentation, Gone Too Soon, showed the consequences of driving without full attention. The Linn County Mustangs visited Brashear Thursday night. The Lady Mustangs took a 12-8 first quarter lead over Brashear and were up 24-11 at halftime. Although Brashear outscored Linn County 10-4 in the final quarter, the rally fell short and Brashear fell to Linn County 37-27. Robin Waxter and Haley Lawrence scored 7 points each for Brashear. Caitlin Hall added 6, Casey Mahalovich, Michaela Potter, and Hannah Reeves had 2 each, and Harley Mahalovich. The Linn County boys came roaring out a 24-0 lead after one quarter, but Brashear scored 16 second quarter points to make the score 33-16 at halftime. Linn County dialed up the pressure again to start the third quarter and extended their lead to 52-23 on the way to a 56-27 win.
Ty Gottman scored 14 points for Brashear, Zane Sykes added 5, and Levi Blankenship and Wyatt Potter scored 4. The Mary Immaculate Hawks visited Brashear Friday. The girls' game was a close contest in the first quarter, with Brashear coming out with an 8-5 lead. Brashear blew the game open in the second, scoring 14 points to take a 22-6 lead at halftime. Brashear continued to outscore the Hawks in the second half and won by a score of 34-7. Hannah Reeves led all scorers with 12 points for Brashear. Harley Mahalovich and Robin Wagster had 10 each, and Megan McKemery had 2 points. The Brashear boys got on the scoreboard first and never trailed in a 29-9 victory over the Hawks. The Tigers led 40-0 after one quarter and 10-2 at halftime. The Hawks had their best quarter in the third, scoring 5 points, but Brashear scored 8 in the third and 11 in the fourth for the win. Ty Gottman scored 7 points for Brashear, Tristan Morrison had 6, Colton Sayer, Nate Stewart, and Zane Sykes had 4 each, and Wyatt Potter and Aiden Zentz scored 2 points each.
Monday night, the Brashear High School FBLA chapter held their fall fun night. The activity was a murder mystery. Each person was assigned a character to play and roles to act out. During the evening, a murder was committed and the characters had to try to solve it. Refreshments were served after the mystery was solved.
The Brashear Lady Tigers and Green City Lady Gophers met Friday night in a consolation game at Atlanta Junior High Tournament. Both teams played some tough defense, keeping the scores low as Brashear had a slim 9-7 lead at halftime. After a couple of early scores by Brashear, Green City started chipping away at the lead and were ahead 17-14 at the end of 3 quarters of play. Both teams continued their defensive pressure, and Brashear managed to tie the game to put it into overtime. Ultimately, a single Brashear free throw decided the game in a final score as Brashear took home the consolation trophy with a 29-28 win. Kaylee Hall scored 11 points for Brashear, Sadie Potter had 5, Haven Lawrence added 4, Casey Mahalovich and Michaela Potter had 3 each, Hannah Reeves had 2, and Robin Waxter scored 1 point. The Mary Immaculate Lady Hawks scored the first 4 points of the ballgame Tuesday, but Brashear answered with 13 points of their own. The Lady Tigers had a 21-5 lead at halftime and cruised to a 39-7 win to wrap up their season. Hannah Reeves led all the scorers for Brashear with 8 points, Robin Waxter had 17, and Harley Mahalovich and Megan McKemery had 2 points each. The boys' game was closely matched battle, with Brashear holding a slim 9-8 lead at halftime. Brashear managed to extend their lead to 18-13 after 3 quarters, but went scoreless in the fourth, hanging on for an 18-17 win. Levi Blankenship scored 6 points for Brashear, Ty Gottman and Zane Sykes had 3 each, and Wyatt Potter, Colton Sayer, and Aiden Zentz scored 2 points each. On Tuesday, the sophomore class went to Kirksville's Downtown Cinema 8 to watch Catching Fire, the second book in the famous Hunger Games trilogy. The English 2 class had been reading Catching Fire for a while and suggested watching the movie for.
On Wednesday, members of Student Council did a public service project. They traveled to the Sheraton Valley Association to help serve Thanksgiving dinner to the residents there. On Saturday, the Brashear varsity basketball teams traveled to Canton for a jamboree with teams from Canton, Knox County, and Scotland County. Each team got a chance to scrimmage for 2 6-minute quarters against each of the other teams in order to get ready for the regular season.
Brashear got their varsity basketball season started Monday night as they hosted the Marion County Mustangs. The Lady Tigers managed to keep their composure in the opening minutes against the tough Marion County full court press and were tied 4-4 before Marion County caught fire and pulled out to a 17-4 lead at the end of the first quarter. Neither team put many points on the board in the second, with Marion County leading 24-7 at halftime. Marion County came out hot after the half, putting up 17 third-quarter points and cruised to a 46-17 win. Allison Thompson scored 6 points for Brashear. Abby Kirby had added 3. Ashley Moncrief, Mandy Taylor, and Robin Waxter had 2 each, and Skylar Hausman and Kylie Williams scored 1 point each. The Marion County boys jumped up to a quick 30-5 lead after 1 quarter and led 52-20 at halftime of a physical game that saw 25 fouls whistled in the first half. Brashear scored 15 in the third and 11 in the fourth quarters, but the damage was already done as they fell 81-46 to the Mustangs. Chance Hill led all the scorers for Brashear with 19 points. Luke Morrow had 16, Gabe Thomas and Jacob Reeve had 4 each, Cole Acton had 2, and Brody Henricks scored 1 point.
Tuesday was a day of celebration as the official ribbon cutting for the new playground was held in front of a crowd of students, faculty, and community members. This project began several years ago, and around $41,000 was raised through fundraising and donations. The Brashear boys faced Scotland County in the first round of play in the Novinger tournament Monday night. Neither team shot well in the early going, but transition points helped push Scotland County out to a 13-2 lead after 1 quarter of play. Brashear started to get things going with 9 second quarter points, but Scotland caught fire, scoring 17 to take a 30-11 lead into halftime. Scotland County left no doubt as to their number 1 seed in the second half, extending their lead to 59-16 after 3 quarters on their way to a 69-21 win. Jacob Reeves led Brashear scoring with 10 points, Gabe Thomas had 4, Luke Morrow added 3, Sam Smith had 2, and Colt Acton and Jacob Blything scored 1 point each. The 7th-seeded Brashear Lady Tigers met number 2 Milan Tuesday night in first-round play in the Novinger tournament. The lead was rarely more than a bucket throughout the first half as Brashear was up 7-5 after 1 quarter, and Milan led 16-15 at halftime. Both teams kept up the defensive pressure in the second half, but Milan's offense was more effective in the third quarter as they extended their lead to 26-19. Brashear mounted a rally in the fourth and closed to within 34-33 of Milan with half a minute to go, but the comeback was doomed by 10 missed free throws in the final quarter as Milan hung on for a 36-33 win. Meredith Thomas scored 13 points for Brashear, Mandy Taylor added 7, Abby Hall had 6, Ashley Moncrief, Sydney Sykes, and Skylar Hausman had 2 each, and Allison Thompson scored 1 point. The Brashear and Atlanta boys teams squared off Wednesday night in a second-round consolation bracket game at the Novinger tournament. Both offenses got off to a slow start with Brashear holding a 7-6 lead after 1 quarter. Brashear's shooting heated up in the second, with Brashear pulling out to a 29-16 lead at the half. Atlanta started chipping away at the Brashear lead in the second half, closing the gap to 37-32 after 3 quarters of play. By midway through the fourth, Atlanta had overtaken Brashear on the scoreboard and went on to a 51-48 win. Chance Hill scored 16 points for Brashear, Luke Morrow had 11, Jacob Reeves added 9, Jacob Blything had 5, Colt Acton had 5, and Gabe Thomas scored 1 point.
Thursday night, the Brashear School Music Department held their annual Christmas concert before a packed house. Performers included the various elementary and high school choirs, as well as the elementary, junior high, and high school bands. The Brashear and Novinger girls squared off Thursday night in a consolation semifinal game. Novinger held a slim 10-9 lead after one quarter, but exploded for 19 points in the second quarter to take a 29-14 halftime lead. Novinger came out strong again in the second half and pulled away for a 46-26 win. Mandy Taylor scored 6 points for Brashear, Ivy Kirby had 5, Allison Thompson and Meredith Thomas had 4 each, Kylie Williams had 3, Abby Hall had 2, and Ashley Moncrief and Haley Lawrence scored 1. The Brashear girls played La Plata Friday night at the Novinger tournament. Both teams pressured on defense, and Brashear struggled to put points on the board as La Plata built a 19-7 halftime lead. The second half was no kinder to the Lady Tigers as La Plata pulled away for a 45-15 win. Abby Hall scored 4 points for Brashear, Meredith Thomas added 3, and Abby Kirby, Allison Thompson, Mandy Taylor, and Haley Lawrence scored 2 points each. The Brashear and Milan boys teams played Friday night at the Novinger tournament. Milan came out red hot in the first half, building a 48-18 lead at halftime. Brashear almost matched Milan point for point in the second half, but it was too little too late as Milan cruised to a 72-40 win. Chance Hill scored 17 points for Brashear, Luke Morrow added 11, Jacob Reeves had 8, and Patrick Jacobson and Cole Acton scored 2 points each. The Brashear Tigers were on the road Tuesday for a pair of Tri-County Conference games at Lynn County. Lynn County scored the first 9 points of the girls' game, but Brashear answered with 8 straight points of their own to make the first quarter score 9-8 in favor of Lynn County. The Lady Mustangs scored another 9 points in the second quarter, but cold shooting by Brashear left them trailing, 18-10 at the half. Brashear outscored their opponents 10-9 in the third quarter, but the fourth quarter surge gave Lynn County the 42-28 win. Mandy Taylor scored 7 points for Brashear, Abby Hall had 6, Skylar Hausman had 4, Robin Wagster had 3, and Ashley Moncrief, Abby Kirby, and Meredith Thomas scored 2 points each. The Lynn County boys took control of the game early as they posted a 22-2 lead after one quarter. Brashear matched Lynn County's 13 second quarter points with 11 of their own, leaving the halftime score to 35-13 in the favor of the Mustangs. The Tigers never managed to close the gap in the second half as Lynn County went on to win 59-26. Patrick Jacobson scored 7 points for Brashear, Luke Morrow and Jacob Reeves added 6. Devin Morrison, Cole Acton, and Chance Hill had 2 each, and Jacob Bleding scored 1 point.
And now we would like to leave you with the sights and sounds of the Christmas concert.
The La Plata Bulldogs visited Brashear Tuesday for a pair of varsity basketball games. The Lady Bulldogs got on the scoreboard and jumped out at an early lead. Brashear started chipping away at the lead with La Plata ahead 13-9 after one quarter and 15-13 at halftime. The third quarter was a disaster for Brashear as La Plata outscored them 15-3 to lead 30-16. La Plata extended the lead to 18 points in the fourth quarter before Brashear rallied to trim 10 points off the deficit, losing by a final score of 40-32. Ashley Moncrief and Meredith Thomas each scored 7 points for Brashear. Abby Kirby had 6, Abby Hall had 4, and Cindy Sykes, Skylar Hausman, Mandy Taylor, and Haley Lawrence scored 2 points. The La Plata boys forced Brashear turnovers and had early success from three-point arc to take a 28-6 lead after one quarter and a 48-15 lead at halftime. Brashear was more productive offensively in the second half, but La Plata kept the pedal to the metal in the second half to claim 77-39 win. Jacob Blything and Brody Hendrick scored 8 points each for Brashear. Colt Acton had 6, Gabe Thomas and Jacob Reeds had 5 each. Luke Mara had 4, Sam Smith had 2, and Chance Hill scored 1 point. The Brashear Tigers visited Atlanta Hornets Thursday night for a pair of Tri-County Conference games. Brashear scored first in the girls' game, but Atlanta answered and led 15-6 after one quarter and 32-7 at halftime. Brashear held their ground in the second half, but eventually lost by a score of 52-37. Meredith Thomas scored 12 points for Brashear. Abby Kirby had 8, Allison Thompson, Abby Hall, and Haley Lawrence added 4 each. Kylie Williams and Ashley Moncrief had 2 each, and Skylar Hausman scored 1 point. The Brashear boys also got on the scoreboard first, but Atlanta bounced back and took an 11-7 lead after one quarter. Brashear scored 12 in the second quarter, but Atlanta answered with a 23 to take 34-19 lead at halftime. Atlanta outscored Brashear 14-7 in the third before Brashear had a chance of winning 8-6 quarter in the fourth, giving Atlanta a victory by a score of 54-34. Chance Hill led Brashear, scoring with 20 points. Luke Morrow added 6, Jacob Blything and Jacob Reeves had 3 each, and Gabe Thomas scored 2 points.